Okay, hello and welcome to the 15th video in the series. Thank you all so much for watching, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So I just wanted to mention that as from this video, we may have maybe 2 or 3 videos left to complete the series. So today what we're going to do is that we're going to just clean up the code and add some comments, and last but not the least, we'll probably add death animations for the player, because I don't think the enemy has a death animation as I can see from here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a death animation, but the player has, so that when the player dies, it plays the death animation. Alright, so first off, let's go to our player code and let's just clean it up a bit. Remove any redundancy or any duplicates or any useless code, just to make it clean. You don't have to do this, but it's just my choice. I want to make my code to be more understandable and more clear. Okay, so first off, let's start from the top. Let's rearrange the variables that we have here. Let's just call this one player status. So player health and player damage, or let's call it attack damage here. So let's take this attack damage and let's put it here, and let's just call it attack damage like this. Yes, attack damage. Don't worry about the error, we'll go back and fix this later. And let's call this one, let's make another variable and say player movement constants. And this would just have the constants that do not change at all: the speed, the jump power, and the gravity. So we'll take it out and put it here. Okay, and next would be player variables, or let's call it state variables. State variables, and that would take the direction, and player attacking will be false. Alright, so then next would be to change the name of this so that it would be more clear and more readable. So we'll just call it player health updates. Good. So it's more readable than when they were all joined up together. Alright, so let's go down, apply gravity apply gravity to the player. Let's say apply gravity if in the air. Okay, this is good. If not on floor, velocity of y plus equals to gravity times delta. Okay, then let's make here player movements. Good. Then it takes the variable player direction, takes the input, takes left and right. Good. And then let's leave this one here. It checks if the player is on the floor. Then if it's on the floor, if the input just action pressed is jump, let's space it out. If it's jump and player attacking, okay, so instead of saying false, we can just say and not player attacking. Then we can say adjusting the jump power. No, we're not adjusting anything here, we're just jumping. Then we play the jump animation. Then we should do the same thing here too. We remove the false. Let's put and player attacking. and not player attacking. We don't need to play this run here. Let's just leave it like this. So it's just straightforward. Players, in fact, let's even remove this player jumping. So it checks if the player is on the floor. It does all this. Remove this facing right and remove this facing left. Okay, so velocity along the x-axis equals to speed times player direction. We can actually change this velocity up a bit. We can change it up a bit so that it will be more clear. Okay, so we would create another function to replace this velocity along the x-axis. So let's just make it now. Let's change this velocity along the x-axis. Let's put, I want to name it player moving, or let's just say move horizontally. Move horizontally, and it takes the player direction, or let's just do it like this, player direction. Good. Takes the player direction. Then since we have that, we no longer need this. Let me just mention it again. You don't need to make all these changes. I'm just making it because I want to learn, and I'm also cleaning up my code. That's all. Okay, but any other changes that we do from here on out, you can just implement it straight into your the code that you currently have. And you can just say else. Let's also remove this, since we'll put the idle animation inside a function. So else, we'll probably just call the function idle animation. Okay, so it's much more straightforward now. If the player is jumping and is not attacking, then jump. Else, if the player direction is moving and it's not attacking, then move. Else, if it's not jumping or he's not attacking, then play idle animation. So I just want my code to be kind of clean and short like this. Okay, then let's put an else here for our fall. To play the fall animation if the player is falling, so we no longer need this. So we can just say $sign. What was it too? No, that's my $sign. Okay, $sign animation player dot play. Now this is a new but very useful way of playing your animations. Instead of having it to be 2 or 3 lines like this, you could just say play the fall animation if the velocity along the y-axis is greater than 0, else jump. That's all. So the code that was 2 or 3 lines before, now it's just 1 line, and it does the exact same thing. And let's bring it up here. Okay, so if not on the floor, then that means you are falling. Okay, so that means we're done with that. Next now would be to do our player attack, which is the same thing that we're going to do. So we'll just remove this. If input.action, just press attack and it's on the floor, then player attacking is true. And then we do the same thing. We just call in our animation player dot play what? We want you to play the attack right animation. if the current direction is greater than 0, else attack left. Attack left. Okay, so attack right if current direction greater than 0, else attack left. Okay, so next now, okay, we have our move and slide. Okay, so now let's start handling our function, the functions that we created here. So first off, we created our function and we called it move horizontally, right? Move horizontally. Close this function, and it takes the direction. I think we called it direction, right? Yeah, it takes the direction. So our velocity along the x-axis, so which is what we had in the previous code, our velocity along the x-axis will be equals to speed times where's my times, yeah, speed times the direction. Good. Then we'll do our current direction will be equals to sine direction. Now basically what this sign does is that it does the work of an if statement. So if the current direction is greater than 0, that means you are facing right. If it's less than 0, that means you are facing left. So what this sign does, the sign is just constantly checking the direction if it's left or right. So the only difference is that sign takes up like just one line, and the other one is an if else statement that takes like 4 or 5 lines. They do the same work, but one is cleaner than the other. And then we do the same exact thing. We do our animation player dot play. What we want you to play the right run. No, sorry about that. We want you to play the right run if the current direction is greater than 0. Else, we want you to play the left run. Good. So we've sorted one function out. Now let's sort out the idle animation function. So function, I called it idle animation. Good. And it's gone. All right, idle animation. And this time we just say velocity along the x-axis is equals to 0. Equals to 0. Then if the player is not attacking, which is what we had before, if not player attacking, then we do the idle animation. Animation player dot play idle. I think idle right should be first. Yeah. If the current direction is greater than 0, else we play the idle left. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's give it some space. Sorry, it seems like this size is too big. Let me reduce the size. Okay. Okay, so we're good with that. Then we'll leave I think the animation is okay. Animation name. If animation, we could also change this also, yeah. So we can change it into an array that just checks a list of animations. So if anim name is in attack attack right and attack left. If your animation is there, then the player attacking is false. Okay, so I guess okay, then we have to change this because we changed the attack damage name at the top. So now this is what it is. And take damage amount. I don't think we need to change anything here. The death function, progress bar dot value. Okay, so we don't need this if we already have our player bar. Oh yes, we actually need to change this, sorry. So we change this to player underscore health underscore update. I think this is what we named it. Player health update. Yeah, so we don't need to do all this long calculation. We could just make a direct connection to our progress bar and say dot value equals to the player health. And let's save it. So yeah, I think all these changes, they look very good. Player status, player movement, player. So now the code looks significantly like more, less cumbersome, and it's easy to understand and digest. Okay. We could also add some comments. We could just call this one function for player damage. We could also call this one a function for player death. A function for player health updates. Okay. Idle animation horizontally. Okay, so this is good. So most importantly, let's test it and see if it works. Okay, we can go left. Sorry, we can go right, we can go left. Oh, look. We already have a problem. So if we go left, it plays the animation and it stops. So I think I know where the issue is. Okay, so as we can see here, let's go from the beginning. Everything seems okay, everything seems good. Let's make this jump power equal to minus, instead of minus equal to. And what could be the issue? Idle, right? Idle. Oh, okay. Yeah, so animation name is capital letter I. So we save it and let's run it now and see. Go right, go left, jump, 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 F, F. Good. Okay, works good. Okay, so now that we have cleaned up the player code, let's now move to the enemy code and see what we can clean up there. Alright, so same thing to here. We just take the, add comments and let's see, references to player and let's see, enemy attributes. Yep. So player now, enemy speed 100, health 100, attack damage this. And let's move this one. Let's call it node references. Node references, okay? So this is good. Everything here is good. I don't think we need to change much. If the player follow player delta, else play the enemy fly. Okay, I think we can switch this one up a bit. Instead of playing enemy fly, we can just play the... Now we'll make an idle animation for it. We'll just call it play idle animation. It's also a function that we'll go and create later. So if you're not following the player, then play the idle animation. Okay, so follow player. If player, let me see. If player is not null, animation, variable direction, velocity. Okay, I think we could also clean this one up a bit. Let's just take this out here, and instead of this is a function for the follow player, and we could just say same thing, var direction. Let me see, var direction equal to the player position minus the position. Now I think what I'm about to do is a bit complicated, so let's just go back to what we had before. Yeah, var direction equals to this, and velocity. Yeah, it's actually much more simpler like this. Okay, so everything is okay, everything is good, true, detect everything. So the only thing that we'll have to do is to make a function for our play the idle animation. Okay, so let's just go here, func play idle animation, and we'll just call it velocity equals to vector2 dot 0. Yep. Then we'll play the idle animation, which is animated sprite dot play. Oh, I think I named it. Let me check the name. Animated sprite, right? Yeah, animated sprite dot play the enemy fly. Okay, that's all I wanted to change. So let's play it now and see. Is the enemy flying? Yep, it's flying. And if we move, you follow us, we jump. Okay, yep, it's looking good. It's looking good. All right, so I believe that we're going to stop here because I really don't want the videos to be too long. But very soon, I was planning to do the code for enemy death here, but this video is already 23 minutes long. So I'll probably do that in the next video, which I would release tomorrow or the day after. All right, so thank you all so much for joining me in this journey, and yeah, it's almost coming to an end. We just have 2 or 3 videos left. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.